Game resumed.
Well, hi. This is going to be a cast of a ZVP, JonnyREcco versus Bales from the Underrated Team League playoffs. This was a round of 8 game. I'm Statcat.
And I am Skwishy, here casting alongside my friend Statcat. How are you doing today?
I'm alright, I'm alright. Casting away.
Casting away. We're just getting into this kind of casting business, or not really a business as it were, but getting involved with the casting and trying to enjoy it and really just experimenting to see how well we can do with it. So I guess bear with us if we make any noobish rookie errors, but we're
By the
working on it
way,
and trying to improve.
How BM are you? We haven't even introduced our players yet. So in the top left here we have our pink Zerg, representing, I think is he representing Dignitas here at some point? JonnyREcco?
He was on Dignitas before. I believe he's on O Gaming now.
That would make sense. Pink Zerg, JonnyREcco.
And then spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our Protoss player playing for Clarity Gaming. He is Bales.
Do you know much about Bales, Skwishy?
I don't. I've heard. I sort of read about him when Clarity recruited a whole new roster of players a few months ago, and he was sort of one of the profiles that they talked about. I know he's from North America, and I know there's been good talk about him. I know he has a very good stream as well, so one to watch out for, I think.
He looks like he's going for some sort of expand with his first pylon down on the low ground.
Yeah, that's usually indicative of like a Nexus first kind of play. I mean, I think he'll just chrono boost out a couple more probes here, and then he'll throw down that Nexus very quickly.
JonnyREcco 14 pooling as well. We've got a little bit of harass going on here.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to get anything done.
In this matchup, when you see that probe coming towards your base as a Zerg really early on in the game, it's just too much of a risk to put the hatchery down before the spawning pool because
Nexus first.
Cannon rushes can just be deadly.
So yeah, we do have Nexus first from Bales, so the cannon rush isn't going to be incoming.
And that's quite a
JonnyREcco
well-timed
with
Nexus.
16 hatch as well.
The hatchery for the Zerg was sort of actually later than the expansion for Protoss. So Protoss got a nice couple of seconds edge here on his expansion timing. Always nice to get as a Protoss.
It's quite a greedy build, really.
Yeah, I mean...
Certainly against the Zerg.
Only against the Zerg, yeah. You can be quite safe with it. He's going to be able to wall off here.
At least know what's going on. He knows that Zerg's not taking any gas as of yet, so it's not going to be speedlings anytime soon.
What would you expect JonnyREcco to do here? I think he's going to take a quick third, and that actually looks like what he's going to do here is his Zerg going to try and chase his probe away.
I don't think he's scouted. He's scouted the Protoss front, so he knows there's an expand. So he's going to go for 3 bases. He's going to try and macro up as much as he can.
He sees that it's not a gateway expand either. He sees the forge down, he sees the cannon warping in. He knows that it's going to delay the timings of Bales significantly, and he's got some time to take his expansions and get his economy set up and going.
Exactly. So
there's that first queen moving down to the natural of JonnyREcco. Another queen on the way in the main, and he's just droning. He is just droning.
Looks like JonnyREcco might lose his probe scout. Bit sloppy.
Bales might lose his
There we go.
scout.
Bales even. Yes, sorry. Yeah, it does go down. But yeah, we might as well... do you want to fetch me gin and tonic? We could be in for the long haul here. Macro game.
I think we are going to be. I mean, these are certainly 2 very passive openings from both of these players. I mean, I guess, it's a tournament game. There's a lot on the line. They're not going to really want to take huge risks. You've got to be a real gambling person to be able to do that and pull it off.
Still very standard from Bales. Warp gates researching. Researching weapons.
We're likely to see his tech choice now that the Cyber Core is finished. I mean, he's gone for a quick +1 attack upgrade, which does often indicate some kind of a timing attack. So my money's on him actually getting aggressive with this in a short space of time. We'll have to see what his tech choice is after this Cyber Core finishes. A Zealot running up to the Zeldnaga tower shoos away some of the Zerglings.
And it's very much the calm before the storm here. We don't really have any tech choices from either, although we've got JonnyREcco taking his 2 gases, and Roach Warren goes down from JonnyREcco as well.
In the meantime, Bales throws down his robotics facility and 2 gases at the natural.
Interesting.
So there's a number of things that this could be. Protoss robotics all-ins are still very powerful. They were very powerful in Wings of Liberty with the Startail parting then as then. Soul Train, Immortal All-In, but lately there's been a very popular technique, or strategy you could say, which is a 2 Immortal, 2 Colossus timing
There's a
attack.
little
I
bit
wonder
of
if we'll see
harass
that.
going on from Bales up in the top right-hand corner at the third.
Absolutely.
Picking
Gets
up
a drone
a probe.
doubles, gets a few Zerglings.
That Zealot though goes down.
Do you think that was worth it?
Perhaps not the most cost efficient, maybe just about cost efficient.
I mean, I think
But
he's
at
got 2 or
least
3
it's,
Zerglings and a drone, so maybe that was worth it actually. I
he's
mean,
at least letting JonnyREcco know he's in the game, Bales.
absolutely.
He's saying hello.
Yeah, yeah.
JonnyREcco though with his Zerglings, he's on his way out.
JonnyREcco send an Overlord Scout into the base of Bales. Did see that robotics facility. I wonder what his reaction is going to be.
But an Observer's popped out, so still very passive and quite defensive from both players.
It is. There is an Immortal following that Observer up though, so and as you can see in the
And
base,
here comes some
top here,
gateways.
there's a gateway explosion going on with a Twilight Council as well. So I wonder what this follow-up is going to be. Interesting to add the Twilight Council on. This could be for fast blink.
And do we have a third going down for Bales as well? Yes, we do. The third going down.
And he's thrown an extra forge down, and he's researching +1 armor on his existing forge. So
interesting. JonnyREcco just about caught a glimpse of the probe, so maybe he knows what's going on down here.
and there goes.
He hasn't scouted the base, but he could see the probe on his mini map, so
no 2
it
base.
looks like we could have a task force here coming to cancel the third.
Yeah, speed is about to finish for those Zerglings as well, so I think he's gunning for that third, you know.
Does, but we've got Immortals popping, Sentries popped. He's going to have to go now if he wants to cancel it, or he's not going to have enough.
Bales is going to have to get defensive. This could quite easily get a cancel if he focuses it down. And here they go.
Here we go, he's seen it. First engagement. I don't like JonnyREcco's chances here. The Immortals are here, 4 Sentries.
He's surrounded. Oh, he moves up to try and engage the Sentries. And beautiful force fields.
Those are a thing of beauty, Skwishy.
Those Zerglings are getting absolutely nothing done.
The probe goes down, but the cannon's now up, the Immortals are up, no cancel here. And sure enough, sees up JonnyREcco's Zerglings. There's a lot of Roach reinforcements coming across the map now, though.
Oh, there really are. I mean, I assumed that would have been a golden ticket there for Bales, but you look at the supplies.
Absolutely. I mean, Roaches aren't great against Immortals, but he could just have
Immortal
too many.
gets caught out of position here.
Well, down goes 1. Still 2 left, though. More Zerglings streaming across the map.
But they're focusing down another. That's the second one down. Only 1 more Immortal remains.
That Immortal's going to fall.
Focus down. Oh my goodness. A wave of Stalkers and Zealots comes in to try and reinforce.
The Lings are here. There's no more reinforcements on the way over the map. This is going to be it for this engagement. Harassing this Nexus is gone.
Down goes the Nexus.
That's a great snipe by JonnyREcco. Threw a lot at that.
Pardon?
Threw quite a lot at that. He was determined to get that third.
He did. It unfortunately looks as though Bales is going to have to work considerably harder to try and get a third base up in this game because JonnyREcco is absolutely shutting him down.
It does, and there's 60 disparity in the supply. That's huge.
Monstrous.
There's another force. 2 more Immortals, 2 more Sentries.
A couple more Immortals come to shove this away. But I mean,
Swarm host play.
Now doubling the supply of his opponent, digging into swarm hosts as well. I feel like JonnyREcco is in a dominating position here.
I do. I mean, Bale's going again for the third, but he's going to have to work really hard for this with the swarm hosts sieging it constantly.
So much pressure on, and he doesn't have any splash damage out either. No Colossus are on the way.
There is an observer.
So at least he's going to be able to see the...
He can see what's causing him all of this pain. Oh, but we have a warp prism here, sneaking its way across the map.
To deal with it, but yeah, you can see it
in
coming.
return.
So
there's a few Roaches and a Queen. I beg your pardon?
Do you often go for swarm hosts in ZVP?
I do go for swarm hosts. I'm not very good with them, but I know conceptually it's the right thing to do. So I'm sticking with them for now.
Many situations they are a good unit to get out. They can also lead to some really drawn out games. Have you seen any of Stefano's latest games using swarm host? He's quite happy just to sit there and go into 40-odd minute games.
Well, Stefano has often... He's famous for his 12-minute Roach maxes and what have you, but Stefano does love to go for a big, long, drawn-out macro game.
Especially lately. Anyway.
Bales is pushing again. Oh, with the swarm hosts caught out position, I have a feeling this attack from Bales could do quite a bit of damage.
JonnyREcco managed to get a cancel on the third base again though, and there's a Dark Shrine on the way for Protoss too.
Went behind Dark Shrine.
indeed. Good force field to come down here at the natural gate. Immortal's absolutely battering those roaches. 3 shots down. Oh, goodness me. Still, there's a lot still here for the Zerg, and those swarm hosts are back.
It's a reasonably good hold. That warp prison though is causing all sorts of
well, I mean, it's just a reinforcement. And the ramp now, will we see a force field on the ramp? No, none so
yes,
far.
it does come down.
There you go. I mean, that's...
Those roaches helpless, watching their friends die.
It's so frustrating when a Protoss does this to you. I mean, it's such a great strategy for them. Force fields, the ability just to cut your opponent's army in half. It's fantastic for Protoss.
JonnyREcco panicking. For a moment there, he was targeting down one of his own eggs.
Seriously?
He was. Zealot, he's pulled the probes. We do have a counter-attack coming across the map now. I think JonnyREcco's going to lose a lot
in the process.
But the swarm hosts are back. Again, the ramp's force field. There are enough sentries there to permanently force field the ramp.
Exactly, he can just force field up. And here come the Dark Templar. Wow, what an absolute comeback this has been from Bales. What a fantastic game.
And the Dark Templar carving through the swarm host.
At the natural ramp, the Zerg's roaches try to pressure, but they are shooed away by a cannon and a Dark Templar.
They just need them back at the base. It's now or never for JonnyREcco. He needs to hold this.
This was an excellent example of abusing the immobility of the swarm hosts.
Just snucking around the side.
Absolutely.
The swarm hosts are now back, so I have a feeling he might hold this particular push, but I put him well behind now.
Well, the Dark Templar cut up several of them as well. And we see some nice micro, picking up the Immortal and dropping it again. That's fantastic micro here from Bales. The Immortal's projectile is obviously instant compared to the Roaches, which actually has an animation, so it's possible to micro against that using a dropship or a warp.
And there we go, it's a hold now. JonnyREcco's still up in supply.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised at that actually.
He has taken a 4th.
He'll need to retake his main before these buildings die of lack of creep. And he's taken a 4th base as well, as you say.
However, there's an Immortal up there looking after that. What would you do if you were in JonnyREcco's shoes now?
Good question. As I said, I think stabilising and retaking his main has got to be the priority. His tech structures are there, his spawning pool, his infestation pit, evolution chamber, and those are going to bleed out, although he is creeping creep onto them now, which is nice. He's got the supply advantage. He just needs to stabilise his economy. I don't think the swarm hosts have worked out particularly well. Perhaps a Spire transition into Mutalisks would be quite fun now. That obviously takes time, but that's time that he needs.
It does, and Bales is still producing Immortals out of his robo.
He definitely wants to look to try and pressure this 3rd base again of Bales and try and prevent it from going up. Bales is still...
Looks like he's going to have a go at the natural.
Here we go for another engagement. Good force fields coming down here. The Zealots pressuring on the Roaches, cutting into them. Good time warps coming down as well. Does he have an observer to see those swarm hosts? Yes, he does.
Does have an observer? Does he have one here? He has one across the map.
2 hovering over the armies, in fact. And these Zealots just aren't dying. Here they go. Archon pushing forward. I think he's done it. And yeah, the swarm hosts have to retreat. What a fantastic hold there from Bales. He's still in this.
These engagements for JonnyREcco have not been going well.
No, he's not been cost effective at all. I mean, it is often hard to in ZVP, although swarm hosts are meant to be the unit you can be cost effective with, because
he may not be cost effective, but he's certainly gathering more minerals. The 3rd again coming down for Bales. And JonnyREcco, he's using the Zergs, the unique ability of the Zergs to just remax so quickly. I mean, neither player's at max, but there's more waves of units coming out. Roaches.
I would like to see a few more. I would like to see a few more drones for JonnyREcco. He's only at 51 at the moment compared to the 50 of Bales. I would expect Bales to resume pro production now that his 3rd is established. But then there you go, a wave of 8 drones coming in there for JonnyREcco. That's good. He needs to get up to something more like 70 odd.
I also feel like mixing in Hydras might be a good idea because he's labouring against the Immortals.
Absolutely.
And it's taking him so long to shoot down those Immortals that...
He's persisting with the Roaches and they just haven't really been effective apart from at that very first time he pressured the 3rd. Bales is now saturating his 3rd base. Meanwhile, what's JonnyREcco up to? He's got +2 missile.
I think he's pulling the army out of the way and he's in with the Roaches. He's going to snipe this base again, or at least have a go.
Excellent. I'm not sure he's going to be able to snipe it, but you can certainly deny mining time, take out a few Stalkers. Protoss is not even pulling back. I wonder what his plan is to get rid of these Roaches, and he's got 3 cannons here too now.
I'm not worried. I don't think Protoss is too worried about these Roaches.
He walks in the Dark Templar, and that ought to do the trick.
JonnyREcco doesn't have too much at home beyond the swarm host.
And he doesn't have too many of those.
A handful of Roaches.
Only 10 swarm hosts. I don't think that's going to quite cut it.
JonnyREcco will at least know where the engagements are going to take place.
Yeah.
Creep's giving him the vision.
He's got a good amount of creep spread over to this right corner, but not really far extending out onto the map. It's so sad to see Zealots trying to fight Locusts. It has to be one of the saddest things.
Their lives for ire.
There's 4 Zealots. And they're 3 units they're fighting against as well. Anyway, good force fields coming down here.
Splitting everything out. The Roach is well out of range of the Protoss.
So many Roaches. He wants to pull back out of this concave for the Zerg. And there you go, up the ramp so that the Zerg's Roaches force him to the choke. Excellent use of the choke point there by Bales. Double time warps being effective as well, slowing all the army down. Do you think he can do this? His force field's running out.
I think the Roaches, slowly but surely.
Roaches and
again,
the
like
Locusts.
the Locusts chipping away.
Excellent. Almost a surround by the Roaches here, and those Immortals are falling down. I think this might be the turning
Now
point.
I'm worried because Bales is mined out in his main, he's nearly mined out in his natural, he's had his 3rd harassed, he's only mining out of his harassed. It's being guarded by some DTs, but I'm worried now. I think these Roaches coming across the map could be decisive.
I don't think he has anything really to hold this. He's got 1 Immortal and 2 Stalkers in his Warp Prison.
No, that was all or nothing.
And he's got 2 Archons morphing in, but his Cyber Core is going to go down next to another gateway. Mothership Core goes down. Oh, that was so annoying. He left his Mothership Core out in the middle of the map and he got sniped by Queens. Photon Overcharge could have been crucial at this point.
I think even with the Photon Overcharge that may not have been enough. We've got reinforcements streaming across the map. The Swarm hosts are on their way. There we go, GG.
Wow, what a back and forth game.
Absolutely. I mean,
really hard to call. So difficult to call, really.
Well, I felt quite early in the game when JonnyREcco went across to try and cancel that 3rd and failed. You think when you've got a Protoss up to 3 bases that early, you know, trying to keep pace with the Zerg's macro, you're going to have to favour the Protoss. And it looked that way, but JonnyREcco just held on, showed he was very resilient, used his swarm hosts very well. I mean, I could learn a thing or two from that.
Absolutely. And
I could learn a thing or two from anyone, really.
I mean, I really thought that JonnyREcco had wasted a lot of minerals trying to cancel that 3rd, but then the swell of Roaches that followed just overwhelmed Bales at the very beginning.
Absolutely, and with Bales only on effectively, well, he'd mined out 2 bases by the time he got his 3rd saturated. And you've got JonnyREcco, lost his main, but he's still on 1, 2, 3, 4 bases around the map. 4th just going up.
This exhibited for me excellent crisis management from JonnyREcco.
He didn't panic, he didn't go for anything stupid, he kept his swarm host back at the base to hold off the Protoss army. Maybe I would have gone mixing in some Hydras just for the extra DPS, but that's probably why I'm in silver.
No, I think that's a good call. I mean, it's a tricky thing because the Hydralisks would have, yes, done better against the Immortal Gateway composition than the Roaches did. On the other hand, we do see Bales had Psionic Storm on the way, and Archons and Templars tend to do very well against Hydras in the right numbers. So, not to mention the fact that Hydras are more expensive than Roaches, so going Roaches allows him to get more swarm hosts because he's got the extra gas left over. I mean, it's a hard one to call, really.
It does, and this is probably a good point well made because the swarm hosts proved crucial in that game.
He quite stubbornly stuck to them as well. He lost quite a few of them, but then was like, nope, I'm sticking to swarm hosts. Swarm hosts are what I like to use.
He did, but he lost a few of them when he got caught out in his own base. He had observers in, and with the DTs taking them down.
DTs took down 3 or 4 of them, yeah. He was able to rescue some of them, but he was touch and go for a minute.
So yeah, a very back forward game.
GG, GG.
GG. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Excellent casting with you, Statcat.
Always a pleasure, Skwishy. Ta-ra.
Alright.